sort of listen to a lot of these talks, panels, fireside, and since since today is AltLayer's rollout day, right? So I would like to share a little bit more about our recent progress and also updates. Just make sure everyone to really understand, okay, what's the status for Ethereum and what are the new stuff we can contribute to Ethereum. If you look at the title for the for the presentation, right, it's super interesting. So as we all know, like recently, there are a lot of people criticize Ethereum, and especially on how Ethereum to capture the value. And today, basically, we try to figure out, like, okay, there's a bunch of ways like we can really make Ethereum great again. Probably give Ethereum another chance. As I mentioned, right, recently, there are a lot of conversations about like the L2s and rollups. They are parasitic to Ethereum because like right now the gas fee for Ethereum is super low, and sometimes it's even lower than 1 GV. And on top of that, we all know like for L2s rollups, now we have probably over 500 different chains around Ethereum ecosystem. They really provide the high throughput and also super cheap gas fees. Like for example, some of the rollups, the gas fee can be as cheap as 0.01 cent. It's literally sort of like the cheapest chain, even compared to Solana and the other L1s. So in that case, right, how the Ethereum really capture the value. Vitaly also mentioned that after this 4844, basically the gas fee and also the block fees for all the rollups are super cheap. And now, like one way is like for Ethereum to capture the value is really as a DA. Like basically, we hope all and more like sort of rollout to do the settlement and also DA on top of Ethereum. And previously, we mentioned that, okay, all the rollups on L2 should be really surrounded Ethereum, as just mentioned, right? And we should have all the rollups basically use Ethereum as settlement layer and also as a DA layer, but they just focus on the execution. However, if you look at the TVL and also the activities right now on the L2 side, it's super big. It's like already multi times higher than Ethereum, the main chain itself. If you look at TVL, right, Base, Arbitrum, OP, they have much higher TVL and also activities than a lot of these daily transactions and activities on Ethereum main chain. So do you think that's something we really want after the few years, like sort of research and development on the scaling solution for Ethereum? Probably yes, because we really want to make it for mass adoption. But on the other side, how we really create enough demands for Ethereum or the Ether on itself? Another example, as you can see, right, originally when we proposed rollups or L2s, as I mentioned, it's really like we want to have this kind of a star structure, and all the rollups do the settlement on Ethereum or probably also DA, so they can contribute back to Ethereum as a center. Of course, there's some other solutions, for example, Cosmos and probably Polkadot. They propose this app chain. That sort of model, that one is mainly for this sovereignty. Basically, you have your chain itself, but on top of that, you don't really have any settlement layer on top of another chain. Of course, there's Solana and some other new chains like Monad. They are trying to make themselves as the super, like basically mega chain to process all the transactions and activities for all the applications. And then like, because like right now people compare like sort of the adoption of the token for Ethereum and also Solana, people feel that, okay, that would be great, like to have some similar model to Solana, right? So all the transactions and also from the applications, the like sort of on top of these Solana, so Solana can capture all the fees. Then that some people really mention about how about we increase the block fees? After this 4844, the purpose to reduce the DA fees. But now some people propose like, okay, let's increase the fees for the DA. So then we can sort of get some more commission fees from the rollup. And also some people propose, okay, let's probably leverage the validators of Ethereum to basically do the sequencing for the L2. Then it's sort of like a shared sequencer model, decentralized sequencer model. So in that case, they can capture the value from this L2 transactions, also applications. Of course, there are some new proposals like base rollup, as Vitaly mentioned, and just to have different ways to capture the value from the rollups and then further contribute back to Ethereum. And then these are like sort of proposals and solutions are really good. And do you think like that's good enough, or we should really have something else? Probably risk-taking can also have a role to play in these kind of examples. One way we can think about like if we really want to make Ether great again, right? How many rollups we need to have to really consume like sort of the blob and also this settlement stuff on the Ethereum. One way like if we still have like sort of the current blob structure, right? If there's so many rollups, definitely we will make the blob super expensive. If we want to handle, probably as Vitaly mentioned, right? It's thousands of rollups or thousands of rollups. So in that case, probably Ethereum itself as a DA layer may not be enough to host all the data. So let's say probably EigenDA is sort of the best solution for it. So in that case, how about like we make all these rollups to be based? Based means like sequencer or various components can be like sort of run by the validators of Ethereum. And then we see this base rollup proposed by Justin Drake. The idea that we, instead of having a dedicated node to run the sequencing for like the L2 and also these rollups, right? Sometimes if you look at all the existing rollups, OP, Arbitrum, and all different rollup stacks, even ZK rollup, it's quite centralized. They are single sequencer. But alternatively, like based rollup view, right? We probably can have this different mechanism to engage with the validators of Ethereum to sort of run this sequencing and earn these extra fees from the L2s and contribute to Ethereum because they are the validators of Ethereum itself. On top of that, right? Because like right now, the settlement and also the confirmation of finality on Ethereum, it still takes a long time. It takes like 2 epochs with multiple like sort of blocks, and in general, it takes over 12 minutes. So that's not acceptable for this approach. Like as an L2 or rollup, right? It has to be as fast as possible to be maximum like 2-second block time, or it's better to be sub-second block time. So in that case, for this base rollup or this kind of approach, we need some pre-confirmation for them. The idea that user can send transactions to this pre-confirmation proposer, or sometimes we call it a pre-confirmation like sort of gateway, to aggregate these transactions, quickly give a response, and user can see, okay, this transaction will be into the next block. So then they have the confidence to move forward for the next step. And on the other hand, like sort of this pre-confirmation gateway or the proposer, later they will like sort of aggregate all the transactions into blocks and then propose the blocks to Ethereum, get the final finality. But at the same time, as you can see, right, the current design for pre-confirmation is a little bit centralized. And we also need to guarantee they are always sort of honest, so they don't behave maliciously. So that's why when I mention about the risk-taking, is basically we need to leverage these risk-taking platforms like EigenLayer to punish the malicious behaviors or activities from some of the roles in this kind of base rollup model or this kind of pre-confirmation model. So in that case, as I mentioned, right, we need a network on top of this risk-taking platform like EigenLayer to really do the verification or sometimes do the sequencing for the base rollup model or this kind of new type of a rollup to make sure we can, all of them really perform correctly and can also do all these, make sure the transaction like basically correct and include into the next block. So that's why like either we can do this pre-confirmation, as I mentioned, right? This pre-confirmation gateway, or another way we can run like sort of decentralized network, and these nodes like basically can like do the verification of like sort of the transactions proposed from the users, or sometimes it can be from the sequencers, and after that they can quickly return the response to the user and to make sure like, okay, even these transactional blocks haven't been included on Ethereum, but you get a rather confident like sort of trust on this decentralized network. The thing is like everything is already on mainnet, especially on like sort of Eigen, this risk-taking platform, and also AVS system. So in that case, as you can see, right, we can leverage the platform and leverage the staked or the restaked ETH eigen. Like this morning, Shuran mentioned is still over 5 million, like sort of Ether staked on this eigen platform. And then we can leverage this state ETH and delegate to the operators. The operator will perform all the verification for the transaction block proposed by the sequencer. So they will compose as this fast finality network. Then they can get this sort of pre-confirmation of fast finality for the users. And sometimes we say that, okay, we know how these rollups works. There are so many general purpose rollups. For example, the OP Arbitrum and Base. They're super good. They can process lots of transactions. So the gas fee is very low. They can really hand off like most of the applications in the space right now. But how about the other ways? How about the application chains? We also have some projects and panelists today to talk about like the app chains to build for game, social, AI, DeepIn. That's something really cool. And that's something, as I mentioned, right? Apart from the general purpose rollups, definitely we can do these application specific rollups. And as I just mentioned, right, if you have some product market fit for your own applications or business, and you want to have some on-chain transaction for transparency and also decentralization, that would be great. Like you can have your dedicated rollup. So in that case, the cool thing, like you can have your token utility as a gas token, and you can also have the staking sort of mechanism for your token. So basically, it can really empower a lot of new features and utilities for your token and also platform. And the new model, I would like to propose that, okay, of course, we know all these crypto native applications or crypto native chains, right? We know it very well, but sometimes for some applications or for some projects, especially the ones from the Web2s, they don't know how to really like write Solidity or smart contract. They don't really want to get into the complexity of building a distributed ledger system. Of course, we can help them to launch the rollups within a few minutes, but sometimes, like because of the legacy of their code base, it's in Go, it's in Rust, it's in JavaScript. So in that case, we need to figure out a new way to accept these applications as a non-ledger application, but still crypto native. That's the way, as I just mentioned to you, right? One way that we can, the current way is basically we have the dApps or applications, but we build the AVS on top of Eigen. It's on the sort of the left-hand side. But on the other side, like we think about it, probably we can directly build the AVS. AVS is not limited to this EVM or ledger-based system. You can build like similar different software and deploy in Docker, and the backend system can be run by the operator system. So in that case, it's no longer just limited to ledger-based system. Now we can really unleash the potential of the Web2 developers to build like sort of this traditional application, but in a crypto native way. And when we think about these dApps as AVSs, or like sort of when we think about like how we convert the traditional Web2 applications into crypto, now we sort of like open a new way for all the developers. Previously, we have to think about how to really convert code base into smart contract, how we convert them into a blockchain rollup or L2. But right now, we can really figure out like, okay, how about we build an AVS for the social application? How about we build a game? We don't change the server database, the backend logic. Let's build AVS for it. So now we can rebuild this kind of customer-facing AVS or this kind of application-specific AVS. And then in that case, right, as you can see, you basically have more choices, not just about like smart contract, rollup. Now you can just whatever software, we can just help you to convert into middleware services. It no longer to be persistent or immutable. It can be ephemeral, and sometimes we can make it on demand. If you need more these kind of services, like for example, the social applications, you can have one backend for 1 million users, but once you have more users, over 10 millions, you can just spin off like sort of 10 different the AVS or this kind of backend system for them. So that's why, as I mentioned in this morning with Sriram, right? So we, 2 weeks ago, we really launched this Wizard. Basically, it's AVS as a service platform. It's so straightforward for developers, and probably in the future we'll try to make it even for non-developers. You can quickly launch an AVS you want. So in that case, I just mentioned, right? For crypto-native application, DeFi applications, you know smart contract rollup very well. You launch the rollup, you launch a smart contract, different chains is perfect fine. But for the Web2 developers, or some of you are super familiar with the application in Web2, social, gaming, and also sometimes even in Singapore, we have Grab, in the US, we have Uber, right? Let's build fully like sort of a decentralized this kind of Uber system. We can just try out this AVS. You can just have your backend and also everything. KPIs, and after that, we will help you to really do the heavy lifting automatically and quickly help you launch AVS to basically in a decentralized and secure way, like sort of guaranteed by this risk ease and also Eigen platform. So as I mentioned, right, the benefit of this wizard, it's sort of like AVS as a service platform. It's quite similar to AWS or different cloud system in Web2. And you just choose different options you want for your AVS. And after that, you click, and then you can quickly launch one. Beyond that, you can also manage the AVS and also the operators running behind the scenes. For example, some of the operators on nodes, if you like, they have high uptime, you can choose them, whitelist them, and then you can choose them to serve your service. And at the same time, you can also change and add the reward system. And if you feel like we already got the revenue for your AVS, then you can also distribute the rewards to the operators via the platform. And then you can probably attract more operators and also users for it. And beyond that, as you can see, right, the platform itself is sort of like including a lot of features. But in general, you can create AVS by clicking a bunch of buttons. After that, you can manage AVS. It's a still platform UI, and you can just fill in whatever information you want, and it will be updated automatically. And beyond that, you can also manage. It's sort of like manage operator. In Web2 words, it's sort of like you manage your backend servers and also instances. The cool thing like it's already online. It's not just a demo video. You can just visit wizard.altlayer.com. You can just create your AVS right now. It's really straightforward, and hope you can really enjoy like basically creating the AVS together with us. Beyond that, as I mentioned, right, at AltLayer we are launching different rollups for different stacks: OP Arbitrum, Polygon, zkSync, also Screw, and upcoming a bunch of these basic rollup stacks. On top of that, we are also providing this risk-state rollup features. It's sort of like we provide decentralized sequencing verification and also faster finality by leveraging risk-taking to make these rollups more secure and decentralized. And beyond that, as I mentioned, right, apart from covering these fully on-chain ledger-based systems, now we have Wizard. We can really help you to launch AVS. This is kind of a non-ledger-based system as quickly as possible, just within a few minutes. If you are interested in sort of working with us, just feel free to reach out to us. We have like sort of booths there, and we also have the whole team here. Just feel free to reach out to us. Yeah, really appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed the conference.